everybody. Hope everyone's had a great Friday and a great week. My Friday's been really busy, so unfortunately we're gonna have a little bit of a shorter stream tonight, but I think we'll still get some work done. Alright, so this is our to-do list right now. A lot of stuff for Lua scripts, but the main thing is stat requests, which we'll also have to start learning how to do coroutines with Moonsharp and Lua. And also, like, we use ability names and player indexes, but I think I will convert them to just objects after all, just to keep everything consistent. So I guess I'll just go ahead and create a really simple class for that. I don't even know if it will actually have any data inside it. And again, these are the classes that the Lua scripts will be able to use. And we'll hide the constructor like always. Again, yeah, I don't even think we need any other information inside this class, but at least we have it ready. For the ability, the only thing I'll add in here is the name, probably. So Lua classes won't need to know the index. Sharp user data. Hidden. Alright. So then I guess the only places these are really used are probably in these arguments. But I guess in the Lua object registry I need to go ahead and add dictionaries for them as well. Oops. Dictionary int player and private dictionary int ability. Create this down here. And I guess we'll just create little functions that are pretty much the same as here. So player, get player, and then we just gotta switch out some variables in here. Monster, and player cache. Clean up the name a little bit, and new player. Yeah, probably the player will need to know this information, but I mean, that's easy to add in the future. Have get ability. Yeah, and this, there's no battle abilities, so this will be database. Probably be more of these caches. I could see us having one for monster and actually no, well yeah, we would need to for the monster prototypes and block prototypes, but so far in our scripts we just use the prototype name, which maybe we don't want to do, but That is true. Because here in the move targets we look at the block prototype and it returns a string, but maybe while we're doing this we should just have it return a prototype object. Might as well just update everything while we're doing this. Type. And then there's also, okay, I'll just do this one here. In fact, I'll just copy this whole code and then just change the name. I guess I should have copied the usings as well, but alright. And then we'll need a monster prototype, which I don't think we actually use yet, but probably soon. Might as well get the infrastructure up already. And then in the registry we just add 2 more caches, block prototype and monster prototype. This will be the block proto cache and then monster prototype cache. And let's create these now. And 2 more little getters. They'll be basically the same as the ability because they're pretty much just wrappers for some kind of database object. Actually, they're going to be like directly loaded from the mods, so database, block prototypes. Since all this code is pretty much the same, it'd be nice if there was some way to abstract it, but I'm not sure if there'd be an easy way to do that. It should be a block prototype, not an ability, that's why it's complaining. And the same thing with monster prototypes. No, we're all ready for anything that the game can throw at us for now. Okay, and I think I can safely delete these objects now. Oh no, I haven't. Oh, I did create it. The player's turn. The sort player's arguments. Okay, yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and delete these because we don't need to keep them up to date. So get targets arguments. So this would actually be an ability now instead of an ability ID. That's fine. Battle state. We almost don't need these classes, but I mean these functions, but let's leave it. Okay, and this will return the block prototype. Yeah, so we actually need to pass the Lua registry here. I think well, we won't need a database, I'm pretty sure. But we will need this. So Lua object registry. Oh wait, I did need that. It's the database I can get rid of. Okay, and then all we do excuse me, all we do here is say reg get block prototype. Oh yeah, data index, which we have. Alright, so this is different. This is like the map generation. Okay, and here it just sets a prototype name, which I think I'll just leave this. We'll need to revisit map generation in the future, so okay, that's all good. Yeah, we don't need this class anymore. Probably, yeah, I won't need this either, but let's not delete it outright just in case. But now it's going to throw an error because I deleted that. This interface. ToString. Okay, so this same way we need to get prototype, mostly for the ToString. What I call Lua object registry. Let's just go ahead and create this, I guess. Monster prototype. So registry gets monster prototype data index. Oh yeah, that's a type return there, and then the ToString for now is just prototype.name. But the prototype actually does not have that value yet, so I guess we can go ahead and add it. Public string name. Oops. Okay, so here we'll need the database. And also the data index. Supported exception, just so we don't accidentally ever call this constructor. Okay, database and int data index. Oops. Database monster prototypes data index. Name. Okay, so that's all good. Okay, so now I need to go back to the object registry and call the good constructor. This does not need the database anymore. Oh, but I have to call or send it ourselves here. That song's a bit loud, isn't it? Okay, at least it was for me, and levels for you guys might be fine. Okay, so the monster prototype, we need to send it the database and the data index. I guess also the block prototype will need the name as well, because that's what we use, that's what we test for in these scripts. so let's go ahead and copy this stuff so I don't have to type it out again because it's going to be virtually the same. Except we'll return the block prototypes. Or not return, we'll look in the block prototypes array. Okay, so player, I don't really know. Well, nothing in there now that we need. Okay, so now we can actually return ability object and the player object. Could even have this class just store the indexes and then it could look it up from the Lua registry, but I don't think it makes much difference. Okay, so this is fine. And statistic. Okay, that's okay for now. Okay, so let's look in the Unity real quick and see what errors it gives us now. Oh yeah, so it's just the various Lua callers. Instead of sending the ability name, I just need to call Lua registry value get ability. Another advantage to using this system is we don't have to worry about converting back and forth between Lua indexes and the game data indexes. Which makes things a little simpler, or I guess less prone to error. That's okay. Okay, I'm gonna copy this actually. So, and this will be get player and get ability. Alright. So the only thing I think I need to change here is you just have to type name like that. So now I guess I'll play the game and see, make sure I didn't make any typos or something. Okay, so there's an error. Expected Lua function divine dat ability punch usable. It's right there. Did I mess up? So it says it got nil at test content abil punch usable, but it's right here. And I didn't overwrite it, did I? Okay, that's kind of strange. Okay, same thing happened. Let's just read these logs and see if we can catch what happened. So we're loading XML, the prototype, dirt, stone, gold, silver, move, fireball, punch. You know, maybe I renamed something somewhere. Yeah, usable query. Oh, it's right here. Anyway, so loading those XML files. Framework function success. Okay, so the ability scripts had a syntax error. So how come that didn't throw an error? Because yeah, it gets all the way down until it tries to actually load a Lua function, but that's because we got a syntax exception. So let's look and see why that might be. I guess where is the exception? Oh, it's this comma right here. Well, I'll leave it in because I want to try and fix this bug. So master Lua loader. Lua loader load 63. Oh, 99. Okay. Okay, so it just sets an error, it doesn't actually throw anything. Loader is ready. Yeah, I guess I don't ever check to see if the loaders had an error. Do I? Let's see, what does this do? Do I ever call this? No, okay, so that's the problem. So I need to call loader dot check error. I wonder if I forgot to do that for other assets. Oh, that's the wrong file. Actually, right here we see this check error. I just saw it. Yeah, and store asset. Okay, I guess that's the problem, is because the XML loader stores the asset right here before it removes it. But the Lua loader doesn't have to store anything because everything's already in the Lua global namespace. So we just gotta call this check error ourselves. Alright, so let's try it again. And hopefully it'll throw the error at the correct time. Syntax exception. Yeah, so now it gives us the correct one. I wonder why I did it twice, but check error. It's kind of hard to read what's going on. Update, game flow logic. Oh no, this is still trying to see when it enters in our code. Master Lua loader at 73, and then 72. Oh, it's just because I printed twice. So it doesn't actually send the error twice. Because I thought that maybe it was calling this function twice or something, which we wouldn't want to happen. Yeah, so now it's fine. And we know the comma is on line 22. So let's try it again. So now everything loaded correctly. Okay, but we got something wrong here. Exception ability target query function. Oh yeah, we knew this. That yeah, if there's an error, the game will crash because it needs to wait a frame before it tries to change the state. I think I wrote that here already. Yeah. So ability to get targets, attempt to call index a nil value at 22. I'll say get block. What did it say again? Let's close this. Attempt to index a nil value. Oh, okay. So that means either get block is nil or prototype is nil. So let's do some printing. I guess it could be either. That's actually a good point. In the Lua registry, let's close all of this. Yeah, instead of returning null, I really should just throw errors here. The problem is these excuse me, these functions are called outside of Lua sometimes. I guess that's okay because the C# code should never actually cause an error to be thrown. Hey Iceboy, good to see you tonight. How are you doing? So script. What is it called? Runtime. I thought it was script runtime exception, but I don't see it. Oh, okay, it's just because I wasn't using the interpreter. Oh yeah, I wasn't using Moonsharp at all. I'm doing good too. A little tired, but it is the end of the week, so to be expected. Okay, so let's just say invalid index. Well, actually, yeah, Lua won't ever send us an index, so I think some other class, or whatever class calls this, should deal with errors. So our problem before was the battle state. Where is that? Oh, I'm looking in the loading. Okay, so I'm gonna comment this out because we don't actually need it. Block is null, then we know that there was a problem. So if block equals null, throw new script runtime exception, invalid our block position out of bounds. Format, so now it should print out the exact position for us. Okay. Yeah, and I don't think anywhere else we really need to do any error handling. But now let's see what happens if that fixes our problem. Exception ability get targets function. Ability scripts cannot access field name, user data, board block. Oh, field name, okay. This is line 23. Oh, right. That was my fault. It should say prototype. Okay, and yeah, the prototype is returning nil, which we can see here because I printed it out from Lua. That's our second print, which is right here. So why is that? Because I'm pretty sure even empty blocks have the quote empty prototype. Do they? So if you look in our database, the block prototypes, yeah, there's an empty prototype right here. Okay, so let's look here on the board block. Why could it possibly be returning null? Oh, because is this still using Lua data indexes? Oh no, it's using the regular data indexes because it takes indexes starting with 0. Oh, well, here's one problem. This obviously isn't ours, but so the only reason it would return null is if we're having a problem right there. So everything. Yeah, it's not like something is assigning null to this cache. That wouldn't make any sense. And am I calling the right constructor maybe? Yeah, database and the data index. Okay, well, I guess let's print out here debug log. Oh, I need to use the Unity engine. Okay, creating new block prototype. I don't really see anything wrong with this code, so but we see here that I'd never created the block prototype, so that does tell us a little bit about what's going on. I wonder if the data index here is strange. Debug log. Oh, yeah, it's because this is the block data index, not the prototype. Okay, so yeah, I was just a logic error on my part. Alright, so battle, board, map, data index. Okay, and then that just is the prototype, whatever's in this. You're making things in RPG Maker. Oh, sounds fun. You decided to go with it after all. I think it is a good choice. Just because you can do quite a bit without programming, so until you know how to program, you can still make a game. Okay, and then the monster prototype. We also need to do the same thing. So battle monsters, data index, prototype ID. And then instead of figuring this out myself, we should just return a new board position using our constructor. Battle.board. Maybe I don't have an easy way. Oh yeah, I do. New hex position this. Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, the problem is the hex position from board index. Oops. Well, it's the same function here, actually. Oh, alright, sounds good. Alright, so yeah, this, just a little cleanup. Don't want to have to duplicate code. Okay, so I think I found the problem, so hopefully things will proceed now. Okay, yeah, now it actually showed everything. And now it's printing out a lot of stuff from Lua, which we don't really need, but... Alright, and we made it all the way to sort actions. Alright, so that's good to see. So now, I think we're all good. Cleaned up this Lua a lot. Okay, so yeah, this function is not needed. I'm going to comment it out just so it doesn't cause any problems. So we want to call this function now, which we almost got to. So down here in the sort players, Lua caller, excuse me. Okay, so yeah, we need to add a global function. Yeah, for both request stat and waiting for responses. And I feel like they should be like in another object because there's going to be other Lua calls that will use these functions as well. So let's call it Lua net requests, or how about async requests in case there's something that might happen not in the over the internet. Maybe we'll have to do pathfinding, and maybe I can use this same system with coroutines. That'd actually be nice, I think. Okay, so public Lua async requests. Yeah, I'm actually thinking will something outside the play scene need these? And probably not, because outside the play scene they wouldn't need to do any stat requests. So, but I guess if the time comes, I can add more functions here. Alright, so what do we need? I guess we should make, what's it? Okay, there we go. We should probably make the return values for these, which will be like, maybe we'll have an async request class, and then a stat. Well, we already started the stat class. That will be returned here. Maybe we should actually, instead of just having this be a stat, it should be like the an asynchronous response. I wonder if this will throw an error. So basically we just want the stat object out of the async response. I mean, it shouldn't, because this is basically just a function call. Okay, so here we'll have the asynchronous with Fractal n request. And this will need to be public. Let's see. Alright, gotta do the Moonsharp user data tag so that Lua can use it. And like always, hide the constructor. And throw not. Well, maybe we'll just use this default constructor, I don't know yet. So we'll have a type, and I guess that's it, really. So I'm going to support that you can either just call coroutine yield without any values, and the game will just give you the first requested stat. But if you put in a specific request here, then it will give you the response for that specific request. So probably we'll have more information in here that Lua won't be able to access, but if I need that, I can add that later. Okay, and then we'll have the asynchronous response. And I guess I'll copy it because it's basically going to be the same. Except I'll have other values in here, like the statistic, and then whatever classes we'd return from a pathfinding request. Do you have any tips for RPG Maker? Unfortunately, I don't think I've used your version. So I only used RPG XP, so I'm not sure how much help I could be. I guess just a general tip is for your first game, you might just try to use like the default plugins and just focus more on trying to make like interesting game design and maybe a story or whatever. So that way you can really learn the program and then you can know what you'd want to do to, I guess, make a more specific game. Okay, so now I have the classes that I'll use. I think the easiest way to get started here might just be to create the C# part of this function. So private void handle stat request. So we have a dynamic value here because this can either be a monster or a block, and then a string for the speed. I guess owner, object, and string stat name. First you're watching and working with a tutorial, then I'm going to make your game. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Try to learn the ins and outs of it, of the program first. Okay, so owner object dot user data. What type does this return? Okay, user data. And can I get? Okay, so it just gives an object. Which I can use to find a type. Alright. So if owner object type is not equal user data, okay, let's do it this way. Private bool. Oops, I guess I don't need to type private here. Bool invalid owner equals false. Okay, well this part is actually not that difficult. We need to have some class that will actually handle sending messages to the server. And maybe if we do that, I think that object is actually what we need to have first, so we can see how we can get values back. Okay, so let's say stat server requester. And then we'll just have a struct here, which will be the server stat request. And we'll need to have an enumeration for the type as well. Server stat request type, and I guess none, monster, and block. So here we'd have the server stat request type, and then the owner index, which would be either the monster index or the block index, and the ability, or not ability, stat name. Public stat server requester. Okay. Alright, so I think this is all fine so far. And we'll have a private class in here, which will have both this class and then well, maybe not, let's see. We'll need a list. Which would be waiting send, and then we'll need a list. Waiting response. And then like after a certain amount of time, everything that's in the awaiting response would be cycled back. Because maybe the server ignored us for whatever reason. Okay. Right, so for now I'm actually not going to send anything to the server because I want to test the coroutines in Lua. So we're going to just kind of fake it. So private void handle request. And basically we'll just add this to the waiting send. Alright, Iceboy, see you in a bit. And so we'll have a float wait period. Well, since it's testing, I'll just have a wait timer, and then I'll just have a constant wait periods. Private const float. Let's just do 1 second. And I guess I'll oh no, we still will need separate. Because after we quote send the requests, then we would just add them all to this response. Okay, so yeah, we need the private tick float delta time. So if we have anything waiting, then we'll pretend that we're gonna send it right away. Yeah, because that's probably how it'll work. We'll call the Lua functions on the first frame, get all their requests, and send them all in one big message right away on the next frame. So, and of course, when we send, all we do is waiting response, add range, waiting send, and then we just clear the waiting send list. Oops, I don't do that. So if wait timer is greater than or equal to wait period, okay, so I guess yeah, we need a query for this, so let's go ahead and add that in. Controller claim query. And then we'll also, why is it not like that? Oh yeah, it's not a query, this is just like a message, isn't it? So controller sub to message. And I guess I do need to put a tag here, don't I? So TLT tag play. So this will be server stat request. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll also have the message claim for when a stat request comes back. Request, response. Received. Something about that phrase seems off to me, but I think it's okay. It seems redundant, but it's a claim message server stat request TLT tag, and this will be server stat response. And so basically all we'll do is for each, okay, so actually to randomize something, okay, no, that's not how to do it. I thought that there was a shuffle function. I created it. Oh yeah, I do. Alright, so I just need to give it a new random. I don't really care. I just want to randomize items in here because we don't want to assume that they come back in the same order. So this will make sure that the responses are kind of random. And then for each var stat and waiting response. Response received, send stat. And then of course we'll clear that list. Okay, so yeah, this is just for testing. Oh yeah, and then I need to controller sub ticking. let's put it as normal. So that way this function will be called. And I need to add it here so I'll remember. So new player sort. And new Lua async requests. And new server stat server requester. So maybe instead of doing this boolean, let's make a separate function that will just throw an invalid owner exception. Throw an invalid owner exception. So throw new script runtime exception. Invalid stat owner must be a monster or block. So if owner object have this check user data type. That's kind of nice, except it throws an error if it's wrong, which I don't know if I want that to happen. Yeah, I would like something like this, but if it's wrong, I don't want it to throw an error. Check type. Check the type this value corresponds to desired type. Does this throw an error? We're getting pretty deep in the moon sharp. I don't really know. Okay, so it does throw an error. Well, that's okay. But user data, I guess I can just get object. So object user data equals owner. Alright, so let's try to cast to a monster first. So interface monster. Alright, so user data as an interface monster. And if Lua monster does not equal null, then if we can call our message claim server stat request. Stat send new. Right, so type equals monster. Owner index is Lua monster dot data index, which we need to add that. And to hide this from Moonsharp, or hide it from Lua scripts, we can just type that at the beginning, like normal. Okay, and this should actually return a Lua interface async request. This code should also probably see if we already have the stat. If that's true, then we don't have to send this request. But anyway, and then stat name equals stat name. And we should also make sure the stat is valid, so let's add that. To do make sure stat name is valid. Check if the stat is already known. If so, do not issue request or send request. I guess it's clearer. And then of course we need to return this object. And also to do block requests. Yeah, not like block, like don't accept, but we want board block requests. Alright, but unfortunately that's it for me for tonight. I feel bad leaving us kind of on this scripting cliffhanger for the weekend, but it's just how it's gonna have to be. So I'll be back at Monday at around 8:30 Eastern, and we'll continue with this. Hopefully finish all these stat requests. In the meantime, if you want to catch up on streams, I will upload this to YouTube, and as well as all my previous streams, which you can find in my channel description. And feel free to follow to be notified when I go live on Monday. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and thanks again everybody for coming by and watching. Bye bye.